Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I am a nurse and I am a South African woman who is married and I am living here in the UK. And I have a shocking story that will shock the rest of you. This is about my husband, who is from Zim. The problem that I am now facing is that spiritually I am being manipulated by my husband. There are times when I sit down and I start to think about how our life turned out to be. And whenever I do that, then I start to cry. And if he comes, then he'll say, no, my wife, what happened had to happen. And if I argue with him, then he will take his powdered tobacco, in which the moment that he starts to use his powdered tobacco or to even rub it in his hands, then I'll just feel like everything is going to be okay. Whatever happened for a reason. But I discovered that my husband sacrificed our son for money rituals. When I got married to my husband, this seemed as if it was a perfect marriage. He was someone who was also working as a nurse. We had came to South Africa. He had gotten married to this other woman who was staying in the village, another South African woman. So he made me to believe that she was the problem in that relationship, because he was like, she was an unfocused woman who never knew what she wanted in life. Here I was working so hard for her and providing for her, but when it will come weekend, she was never at home, always going around drinking, finishing all of my money. And when he would say that, I would feel so hurt, because I thought that this woman had lost the best man that she could have ever gotten in her entire life. But now this makes me to doubt even if this was the will of the Lord, or maybe I was someone who was materialistic, because I saw what was about to happen. I saw that this man, he was a womanizer. I thought that I had got him the moment that I gave him an instruction saying that if you want to date me, you are only going to date only I. If anything happens between you and another woman, then I'm going to break off that relationship. I thought that I was the one who was the clever, the more smarter in that relationship, but he was waiting for the correct moment. It meant that he had failed to use that woman in the rituals because she failed to fall pregnant. But as for me, my womb is the one that sold me out to this guy. Started sleeping with him without using protection, even when I was on a family planning medication, but yet this guy managed to impregnate me. So I think that my womb is the reason as to why I am in this situation, because if I had not fallen pregnant for him, it was going to be quite easy for me to be able to break up with him. But after I had fallen pregnant, I was caught up with this guy, waited for him to divorce that woman. That woman fought, in which I ended up even dipping into my savings, because she said that for me to dump this man, for me to agree to sign the divorce papers, at least give me 20k. I took that 20k because I thought that I was getting myself a very good man that I had been looking for the rest of my life. And I said, go, you can go. And that woman left and she never came to my place again. But I did not know that the reason as to why my newfound man, the reason as to why he was so successful like that, it was because of his secretive lifestyle. We stayed in my country until he managed to get his papers in order, and then we planned our little family. Then all of a sudden, when one of the cousin brother moved from South Africa and came here to the UK, that was when he said, I also want to go to the UK. And I was like, okay, you can go whenever you are free, you can keep on checking on me. But he said, I am not going to leave you and my child behind. If we go together. So I said, okay, for the sake of love, let us all go together. We did everything that we did together. But after moving to the UK, that was when I saw that my husband's wealth skyrocketed overnight. I was even scared that the way that our company was making so much money, okay, yeah, indeed, he had other business partners that were into tenderpreneurs and they were making money through tenders. But the way that he was making money, like I would sit with him down and I will say, okay, you are saying that you made a profit of 500k. Like how? Please explain it to me. Like he really made a lot of money during load shedding. That is when he made too much money that was just outrageous. So I was scared that one day maybe the police were going to appear on our doorstep and he could not give me a proper explanation. I would study the invoices and I'll see that things were not tallying up, and when I would try to discuss his business in detail, he will just say, you don't understand. And then he started changing his business. He said that in my country, in Zim, we don't always do things by the book. Let's say now if someone tells me that they want to buy maybe 3 kgs of gold, then I give them the money. So when they bring me back that money, they will bring it back with interest. Sometimes that is how I am making my money. He never wanted to discuss these things in detail. He was always making sure that he was back in his country, in which he did not want me to go with him to Zim. So I started to see unexplainable events that were happening. There were birds sometimes that will just die near our home, which is in South Africa, and sometimes I will see strange items like religious items, like African religious items that will be in his study room, and he never wanted me to get into the study room. Then our son started to get so sick. My son was like, "Mom, I once saw Dad, he was naked, he came into my room." So I asked my husband, he shouted at me, he even wanted to hit me, and I got so scared and just chose to keep my silence and my peace. When my son passed away, that was the most painful thing that ever happened to me. I returned to South Africa with my son's coffin, knowing that my son is no longer alive. Right now, he is just a package. And when we arrived, we then settled a little bit. He did not want us to return, but it gave me more pain thinking about what my son used to do, and I said it is far much better for us to return here where we are right now in the UK. At least it makes me to forget. So when we came back, that was when I found that there was a black candle. This black candle, it had been burning, and I asked him what was this black candle doing in our bedroom. That was when he said that, at that time when I was telling you that I used to go to Zim, I once went to a traditional healer who assisted me when things were about to go bad, and I could not bring myself into telling you that things had gone bad. And I was like, what the hell are you trying to tell me? He then said that he went to a traditional healer who is an uncle of his, and there he messed up. To this very day, he does not want to tell me how exactly he messed up, but I know for a fact that he used our son in these rituals. So right now, I just sit like a prisoner in my own home. I am even scared of him, knowing that he has these connections with all of these traditional healers. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin who helped us with this translation. She is saying that I am a prisoner in my own home. It is so sad. It is really sad. Let us try to assist her in the comment section.